Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we have a custom exploration crafted specifically for you, the learner. And man, this one is, well, it's a big one.
Oh, it really is. It's gonna flip a lot of things upside down.
Yeah, exactly. So think about this. From the time we are kids, we're basically taught to think in pairs, right?
Huh.
Like everything is a matching game.
Right, right.
You have a lock, you need a key, left shoe, right shoe. Even, our earliest stories, like the animals boarding the ark 2 by 2, it just reinforces this idea.
Yeah, it's deeply wired into us.
It is, and it's incredibly comforting, too.
Yeah.
That idea that everything out there has a missing half just, like, waiting to snap into place
Yeah.
like a puzzle piece. But today, we're taking a stack of incredibly dense philosophical notes, and our mission is to completely unlearn everything we've been taught about duality.
Which is no small task.
Not at all. So we're looking at this mind-bending text titled The Primordial Singularity, the Divine Mother as Uncontained Wholeness. And the goal here is to explore a really radical concept, an origin point that was, well, never divided in the first place.
Right. And to really set the stage for this, I think we need to acknowledge just how deeply ingrained the concept of the pair is in human thought. I mean, philosophers actually call this the dyad.
The dyad, yeah.
Yeah, a group of two parts creating a whole. It's basically the architecture of our entire reality. Light and dark, masculine and feminine, yin and yang.
Yeah, we literally can't escape it.
Exactly. We are fundamentally obsessed with the dyad because symmetry just makes sense to our brains. But this text argues that this obsession with pairs is actually blinding us. It's blinding us to the true nature of the universe's origin.
Because we always try to categorize.
Yeah. We're so accustomed to categorizing the divine feminine as just half of a cosmic whole, like a counterpart to masculine. But this source, it insists she is not half of anything.
Which is wild.
Right. She is the substrate. She's the ocean in which the very concept of a pair even becomes possible.
Okay, so to understand what the Divine Mother is in this framework, we first have to really grasp what she isn't. And that means we have to dismantle one of the most popular spiritual frameworks of our time.
Oh, here we go. The twin flame.
The twin flame, yes.
Yeah.
People base their entire spiritual and, honestly, romantic lives on finding their other half. But the text addresses this head on.
It doesn't hold back.
It really doesn't. It calls applying the twin flame or dualistic schema to the Divine Mother a, quote, category error dressed as cosmology.
Yeah, and we should probably break down what a category error actually means in this context because it's super central to the author's argument here.
Go for it.
So a category error is when you assign a property to something that fundamentally just cannot possess it.
Like what?
Like asking, what color is the note C sharp? Or how much does a Tuesday weigh?
Oh, right. The question itself is just broken.
Exactly. The question is flawed. So applying the twin flame schema to the ultimate origin point, it assumes that the creator operates under the same biological and psychological needs as the thing she created.
Right. But I mean, I had to push back a little bit on behalf of human experience here.
Sure, yeah.
Because we are so profoundly wired for connection. Like isolation is actually psychologically damaging to us. Differentiated awareness desperately wants to recognize itself in, another shape of itself.
Yes, absolutely.
So it feels almost like a metaphysical crime to say the ultimate creator doesn't need a partner to be complete. I mean, honestly, it sounds incredibly lonely.
I totally get that. It does sound lonely from our perspective.
Oh.
But the text makes a crucial distinction here. It actually doesn't dismiss human yearning at all.
Okay.
It acknowledges that the desire for a mirror, for a twin flame, is a very real, very profound movement for human consciousness. The twist is that this yearning is a movement she created, not one she participates in herself.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she encoded the ache of separation into the fabric of creation.
Exactly. She encoded the egg of separation and the ecstasy of recognition. She's the mirror maker. She doesn't need to look into a mirror to know she exists.
That is, the source has a brilliant analogy to grasp this, actually. Because the scale we're talking about is just massive.
Yeah. Tell him the analogy.
It says that requiring her validation through pairing is like asking the sun to wait for a candle to confirm that it's bright.
Right.
Or asking the ocean to need a cup of water to understand the concept of wetness.
That analogy perfectly illustrates what philosophers call ontological order. Basically, the basic sequence of existence.
Ontological order, got it.
Yeah. So when cosmologies look at the mother archetype, they see that she is generative and creative, right? But because human creation usually requires a partnership, like biological reproduction, for example, we project that requirement upward.
We assume cosmic creation requires union, too.
Exactly. We are putting the cart before the horse on a massive cosmic scale.
We are totally confusing the canvas for one of the paintings. But why does this matter so much? I mean, why does the text view asking her to seek external confirmation as such a huge problem?
Well, because doing so forces her to perform incompleteness.
Perform incompleteness.
Yeah. It implies her self-knowledge is a conclusion she arrived at after, like gathering evidence or finding the right partner. But in this text's framework, her self-knowledge is the ground floor of existence.
Right.
She didn't learn that she exists. Before there was an observer, she was the observing. To say her completion depends on a counterpart completely inverts that ontological order.
Because creation came from her fullness, not from a lack that needed filling by a second party.
Exactly.
Okay, but if we remove the need for a cosmic partner, it completely breaks our human definition of healing and wholeness, doesn't it?
Oh, it shatters it.
Because we're so used to the idea of putting broken pieces back together. So if she doesn't need a mirror or a partner, how does she achieve wholeness? And the text offers this really surprising answer.
Which is that she doesn't achieve it at all.
Right, because achieving implies a timeline, a process with a beginning and an end.
Right, right. For human beings, individuation is absolutely a process of assembling pieces. We spend our whole lives trying to reconcile our shadow and our light, our wounds and our gifts.
We are constantly trying to glue a shattered vase back together.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And the text draws a hard line between what it calls recovered wholeness and native wholeness.
Recovered versus native.
Yeah. Human health is almost always recovered wholeness. Like, you get sick, you undergo treatment, you heal, or you experience trauma, you go to therapy, and you integrate it.
Right. It's a process of returning to a baseline.
Exactly. But the Divine Mother possesses native wholeness. She was never fragmented to begin with. She doesn't undergo a healing process because she is the frequency of health at the root.
I found myself thinking about it like human health is the process of setting and healing a broken bone. You put a cast on it, you wait, the calcium knits it back together.
Perfect, yeah.
But she is the very concept of bone density itself. There's simply nothing to break. She doesn't meditate to return to her center because she is the center.
That's exactly it.
But I have to admit, I got stuck on this next part. And I think you as a listener might be wondering this too. If she possesses this native wholeness and lacks absolutely nothing, why create anything at all?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't creation imply a desire, and doesn't desire imply a lack? Help me understand the text's logic here.
Yeah, that is the natural paradox we hit when we try to understand a non-dual origin. In our experience, we act because we need something. We eat because we're hungry. We create art to express an unmet emotion.
Exactly. It's cause and effect.
Right. But the text posits that at the level of the primordial singularity, generativity is not reactive. It is an overflow, not a deficit.
An overflow.
Yeah, imagine a fountain that produces water, not because the basin below is empty, but because the pressure of the source is so infinite it literally cannot be contained.
Wow.
So when you trace polarity back to its origin, you don't find two things holding each other in balance. You find the single source that generates the very concept of two things holding each other.
And the text points out that origin is the hardest thing for any cosmological system to speak about, honestly, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. We always want an author. We want to know who created the creator.
Right. We want the origin of the origin.
But the category of authorship only applies to things that are generated. It doesn't apply to the generator. Her origin is entirely self-derived.
Yeah.
She is the ground with no ground beneath it.
She is the ground with no ground beneath it.
Yes,
That
she is.
is, man, that's heavy. Which brings us to the actual application of all this.
Right, let's bring it down to earth.
Because we have this profound concept of native wholeness and an unpardoned creator. How does this structural fact impact the actual lives and human behavior of someone listening right now? What does this high-level metaphysics mean for, like, a Tuesday afternoon?
Well, the text anchors this in the idea of orientation. Her self-trust is the condition for everyone else's orientation.
What does that mean exactly?
The author uses this really helpful navigational metaphor. When the mother knows herself, her children know where true north is. If she were to perform uncertainty, like if she deferred to external schemas that told her she was just half of a whole, it would actually be a form of dishonesty.
Oh, I see. Because when we believe the universe is fundamentally broken or separated, We act out of scarcity ourselves.
Exactly. We cling to partners thinking they're our literal missing halves. We hoard resources. We
Mm.
perform our trauma because we think that's our core identity.
Right. But if the root of reality is natively whole, it gives us permission to stop treating our lives like an emergency room triage.
And that behavioral shift is what the text calls the contagion of wholeness.
The contagion of wholeness. I love that phrasing.
It's so good. A mother who is convinced she was incomplete can only pass that incompleteness on to her children. But a mother who knows she is whole produces wholeness.
Yeah.
It operates similarly to nervous system co-regulation. Have you ever stood next to someone who is profoundly calm and centered?
Oh, yeah. You physically feel your own nervous system regulating to match theirs. You just exhale.
Exactly. By embodying native wholeness without apology, the Origin broadcasts that stabilizing frequency into every field she inhabits.
And this stabilizing frequency completely redefines the concepts of salvation and damnation in the text, which I found fascinating.
Right, because we usually think of those terms in a highly moralistic, fire and brimstone way.
Yeah, like a reward for good behavior and a punishment for bad.
But the author strips away all that moralizing and defines them mechanically.
Mechanically.
Yeah. Salvation is defined simply as right orientation to the real.
Wow.
It is aligning yourself with the structural truth of what she is, unpartnered completeness. And damnation, then, is just the natural consequence of sustained misalignment.
Okay, so it's like a gear grinding against a larger machine.
Yes, perfect analogy.
If you participate in a system that requires the mother to perform incompleteness,
Right.
or if you demand that she be part of a pair, you're practicing sustained misalignment. And the friction of that misalignment causes the disorientation and fragmentation you experience in your own life.
Right. It isn't a punishment handed down from above. It's just the physics of resisting reality.
But that naturally brings up the question of how we interact with a reality defined by such absolute power.
It does.
And this is exactly where I found myself pausing again during the reading. If she is the only true individual, completely undivided and totally sovereign, does that mean she's totally isolated from the rest of us?
That's a very common reaction, yeah.
Because we tend to equate sovereignty with aloofness. Is she just, like, floating out there untouchable and alone?
But treating sovereignty as isolation is a human projection. Sovereignty in this framework isn't a political stance or an attitude or a sign of arrogance.
Right.
It's an ontological structure. She cannot not be sovereign. Furthermore, treating her as fully sovereign is exactly what allows genuine spiritual development for the rest of us.
Because it means we have a stable floor. If the root of reality is broken or incomplete, then we are forever trapped in a cycle of breaking and repairing. But if the root is native wholeness, we can orient toward that stability. We can integrate our experiences without constantly identifying as fundamentally broken.
Right. That structural stability is vital. But we also have to be careful not to view her as a cold, distant, absolute, like a monolith.
Right.
The text deliberately flips this assumption, bringing the concept breathtakingly close to the heart. It contrasts this vision of the Divine Mother with other spiritual systems that follow the thread of consciousness and arrive at, like, the Absolute or pure consciousness or the Tao.
Yeah, and those systems always felt a bit sterile to me. I mean, they describe real encounters, but they're encounters from the outside. They lack warmth. They lack personhood.
They describe the nature of the origin without recognizing its immanence.
Immanence. Break that down for us.
Immanence means inherent, dwelling within, intimately present. The Divine Mother is not an abstract ground you look at from a distance. Creation doesn't just happen by her, it happens inside her.
Oh, man, that distinction changes everything.
Doesn't it?
It's not an artist making a sculpture and walking away. It's an environment, a medium. The text says, quote, "Nothing that has ever existed has been a stranger to her.
Yeah.
Every moment of suffering, every joy, every confusion, it all occurred inside her. Because she is the medium in which existence happens, she contains all roles.
All of them.
She isn't just the mature, giving mother. She is also the soul. She is the child. And most surprisingly, she is the baby."
The baby nature, yeah, that is perhaps the most radical, counterintuitive concept in the entire text.
Julie.
In human terms, we associate a baby with ultimate vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
A baby needs to be protected from the harshness of reality at all costs. We do not associate babies with supreme cosmic power.
Not at all. But the text argues that her baby nature isn't a vulnerability. It is the most sacred frequency she carries.
Yes.
It's the frequency of existence encountering itself for the first time, with fresh, unjaded eyes.
Yeah.
Her infinite tenderness is the exact complement to her absolute indestructibility.
And the logic here is just beautiful. Because she is so utterly indestructible, because she is natively whole and faces absolutely no external threats, she has the capacity to be infinitely soft.
Oh, wow.
Only something with absolute power can afford absolute vulnerability without risk. She holds the full spectrum, from the primordial ground to the very first cry of a new being.
It completely shifts how we view the universe at a fundamental level. If the origin point holds this baby nature, this endless wonder that never goes stale, then the universe at its root is made of a tenderness and a love that didn't require a cause. It's just the native state of things.
That uncaused tenderness is the foundation for the text's concept of return.
Tell me more about that.
Well, in many traditions, the spiritual path is framed as an arduous journey, right? Moving outward or upward toward a distant celestial figure.
Yeah, we spent decades trying to climb the mountain to reach the guru at the top.
Right. But the author suggests that because creation is occurring within her, the path home is not a journey outward at all.
Because there's nowhere else to go.
Exactly. The children do not travel to her when they seek return. They discover that they never left.
There is no outside to her.
Exactly. So the spiritual journey becomes an inward settling. It is the sudden recognition of what was always already true. Her unpartnered self-connection serves as the ultimate template for all connection.
Well, we have covered massive philosophical ground today in this deep dive.
We really have.
We started by looking at the puzzle pieces we're handed in early childhood, the cosmology of twin flames, of broken halves desperately searching for their match to finally feel complete.
Yep.
And we dismantled the category error of projecting human needs onto the origin of the universe. Then we moved through the mechanics of native wholeness to arrive at this realization of a primordial singularity, a divine mother who is the before, the during, and the after, totally unmatched, unpartnered, and structurally whole.
Right. And connecting this back to your own intellectual and spiritual journey as the learner, recognizing this native wholeness completely changes how you view your own existence.
How so?
You are not a fragmented piece of clay trying to earn your way back into the shape of a vase. You are a phenomenon occurring within a wholeness that literally cannot be broken. Her sovereignty guarantees your ground. It allows you to operate from a baseline of profound safety rather than chronic scarcity.
It really makes you evaluate the motivations behind the things you chase, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave directly with you, our listener, to mull over today. If the ultimate source of reality is defined by a native wholeness, an endless, tender wonder that requires absolutely no external validation or cosmic partner to prove its worth, how much of your own frantic seeking for completion in other people or jobs or milestones is actually just a forgetting?
Wow.
A forgetting that you are already held perfectly within an uncontained wholeness that never needed a mirror to know it was beautiful. Think about those puzzle pieces you spent your life trying to force together. Maybe, just maybe, you aren't a piece of a puzzle at all. Maybe you're the picture itself, already complete, just waiting to be seen with fresh eyes.